You wake up, check your bank app, and it says $147.83. Rent is due in a week. Your card bill hits in 3 days. And that number on your screen feels less like a balance and more like a joke. You're working, you're trying, but somehow money still feels impossible. A recent national survey found that more than 1 in 4 Americans have less than $1,000 in savings, and over half of Gen Z and Gen X have under $5,000 put away. So if you feel stuck at a few $100s, you're not uniquely broken. You're statistically normal. Today, I want to take you on a journey from $0 to your first $10,000. Not just the math, but what it feels like, why it's so brutally hard, and why crossing that first 10K changes everything about how you see money and yourself.
Let's start where you are right now. You're doing the right things, at least on paper. You work a job, maybe 2. You're not out buying luxury watches. Most of your spending is boring. Rent, groceries, gas, bills, minimum payments. And every month, the pattern repeats. Paycheck in, auto pays out, anxiety in your chest. You tell yourself, next month I'll save. But next month looks exactly like this month. Here's what no one told you. The system is designed so that your first few $1,000s feel pointless. When you have $100 in savings, adding $50 doesn't feel like progress. When you have $300 and then your tire blows and it's $260 to fix, it feels like the universe is laughing at you. That's not because you're bad with money. It's because in the beginning, your money is too small to protect you. Most Americans can't comfortably handle a $1,000 emergency out of savings. Bankrate's 2026 report shows that less than half could cover that without borrowing or using a credit card. So when you're under $1,000 or $2,000, of course, every surprise bill feels like a disaster. The trap is this logic. If $100 or $300 doesn't change my life, why bother? And that's exactly how the majority of people stay stuck forever. Not because they're lazy, but because the early progress feels emotionally worthless.
Now think of your financial life like climbing a staircase in the dark. The first step is the hardest, not because it's the tallest, but because you can't see where it leads. At $0 saved, your brain tells you, $10,000? That's insane. I'd have to save forever. Say you make $2,500 a month and manage to save $250. That's 10 months just to save $2,500. At that pace, 10K is around 3 years. 3 years feels like an eternity when you can barely handle 3 weeks. So your brain does what it always does with long, slow goals. It tells you they're impossible, so you stop feeling guilty for not trying. But here's the twist. The first 10K is the hardest, not because of the amount, but because of the person you have to become to get there. One modern money educator puts it perfectly. Saving your first $10,000 is the hardest and the most important. It's not just money. It's proof you can build something from scratch. To go from $0 to $10,000, you have to fight your own impulses, say no to people, delay almost every dopamine hit, build systems that work even on your worst days. You're not just stacking dollars. You're rewriting your identity from "I'm bad with money" to "I'm the kind of person who always pays myself first." That identity shift is worth way more than the $10,000.
Every story like this has a turning point. You realize one small emergency could wreck your entire month, and suddenly that thought won't leave your head. That's the moment you quietly say to yourself, "I'm not living like this forever." From the outside, nothing changes. Same job, same apartment, same friends. But internally, there's a switch. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of money. You start seeing money as a skill you can learn. That's when decisions change. You stop asking, "Can I afford this today?" You start asking, "Would future me thank me for this?" That one question quietly kills a lot of dumb purchases.
If you like the way we break down complex money ideas simply, subscribe.
Now, let's make this feel real. Imagine you decide, "I'm giving myself 18 to 24 months to hit my first $10,000. Not in 1 month, not with some magical side hustle that makes 40K in 3 months. Just a boring, relentless plan. You attack it from 3 angles. First, cut the leaks. Track 1 month of spending and highlight everything that didn't genuinely make your life better. Not the coffee that makes you happy, but the fees, the forgettable takeout, the random Amazon purchases. And you find $100 to $200 a month you can reclaim. Second, add a small income boost. You don't need a second career. You need an extra $200 to $400 a month. A few freelance gigs, tutoring, weekend shifts, basic online work. Not glamorous, just fuel. Third, automate your future. You set up an automatic transfer out of your checking right after payday, even if it's just $100 to $200 at first. Warren Buffett has a brutal little line. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. That's what you're doing here. Future you gets paid first. And suddenly, between cuts and extra income, you're saving maybe $400 a month. That's $4,800 a year. Keep that up just over 2 years, and you're around $10,000. Is it easy? No. Does it require discipline and saying no to people? Yes. Is it impossible? Absolutely not. The dream isn't the number. The dream is looking at your life and knowing, my money isn't random anymore. I'm driving.
The journey to $10,000 isn't just one big moment. It's a series of tiny emotional upgrades. At $1,000 saved, you feel a flicker of relief. A small emergency won't wipe you out completely. You still feel fragile, but you've got your first layer of armor. At $3,000 saved, you notice, wait, I can handle a surprise bill without borrowing. Money anxiety doesn't vanish, but it stops screaming 24/7. At $7,000 saved, you realize you've built something that once felt impossible. It's not enough to retire, but it's enough that losing a job wouldn't destroy you instantly. You've bought yourself time to think and choose, not just react. At $10,000 saved, something shifts from fear to pride. You're not rich, but you're not helpless. By the way, the median savings account balance for people under 35 is around $5,400, according to recent U.S. data. So if you've clawed your way to $10,000, you're already ahead of most of your age group. Even if it doesn't feel flashy, you've proved that you can commit to something long-term and finish. That confidence leaks into everything: your work, your relationships, your standards. There's one more secret about the first $10,000. It unlocks your imagination. Before you have any money, financial advice feels theoretical. But when you have $10,000, everything hits different. You plug it into a compound interest calculator. You see what happens over 10, 20 years at normal market returns. For the first time, compounding isn't a quote on Instagram. It's numbers with your name on them. Buffett has another great line. Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. $10,000 is you planting that first real tree. And that's when your brain starts dreaming bigger. If I can do 10K, why not 25K? Why not 100K? The first 10K is the proof of concept, not for the world, for you. Now don't let this be a "that was deep" video that you forget in 10 minutes. Here's what I want you to do. Take a screenshot of your current net worth or savings, even if it's negative. Write one sentence. I will hit my first $10,000 by pick a realistic date. Choose one lever you can pull this month. Automate $50 to $200 into savings or investments. Add one small income stream. Kill one stupid recurring expense. You're not bad with money. You're just early in the game, and the first levels are always the hardest. Because once you hit that first $10,000, you'll finally understand that money was never impossible. It was just waiting for you to get serious. I've linked the research and sources in the description if you want to verify everything yourself. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next one.